This is my 1987 BMW 325 IS, and I'm currently in the process of making it my first drift car, but there's one major issue that's holding me back from doing that. It doesn't have an engine. That's gonna change because in this video, we're putting all of the engine accessories on the engine that's currently in my shed, and we're gonna get it all buttoned up and ready to go in the car. I have a couple more parts on the way that are gonna be arriving tomorrow, and we have a checklist that we're gonna do. So, first thing that we're gonna be doing is taking the alternator to O'Reilly's and getting it checked. If the alternator is good, we're going to be mounting that on the engine. I have an alternator drive belt that's going to be going on, so we're going to put the pulley on, put the alternator belt on. We're going to clean up the engine. We're going to put any gaskets we have on. We're going to put the intake manifold on. We're going to get the exhaust manifold put on, and we're going to look to see if we have an alternator stud. Otherwise, I'm just going to have to go to the auto parts store and buy a stud or a bolt and put it in there. So we got a lot to do, so sit back, grab a coffee, and enjoy the video. You're not by my side. I feel like skipping town. You're not down to ride. Cancel all the plans. Yeah, you make me cry. Drive my Volvo off a mountain. I really hope you guys are enjoying the build, even though it is taking a long time, but I am one guy. I am outside. I am limited on my mostly knowledge. So anyways, if you've been sticking around watching the video, thank you. I really do appreciate it. And make sure you drop a like, drop a follow, drop a comment, drop a subscribe, don't follow me in real life, but the first thing we're gonna do is take some of these accessories off the engine because I need to clean it up. As you can see, it is still extremely greasy. I've already degreased it quite a bit, but this thing was nasty when I first got it. So I'm gonna hit it with some brake clean, I'm gonna hit it with some degreaser, I'm gonna take a brush to it, and we're just gonna try and get as much of this grease off as we can. I actually found some nice wheel cleaner, so I'm gonna go ahead and use that because it should work a lot better. But before I do that, I'm going to stuff a couple of these rags down in here, just because I do have an opening down there on the intake manifold. I don't want any unnecessary shit getting into it, so just a little something like this should be enough so that when I clean this valve cover, shouldn't have any issues, I hope. Well, we can definitely see I took off a bit of paint in places, but it's definitely nice and clean. It's not greasy. It definitely looks a lot better. I am for sure keeping this all brushed and raw metal. I think I might try, I don't know, maybe just taking like a wire wheel to this, because again, I don't want to take this valve cover off and have to deal with all that again. But I think I should be able to just get a wire wheel in here and get at least most of it off to where it looks better than what it does look like. Also, one thing I noticed, I don't know if you can see in there, I do indeed have spark plugs, so that's one less thing that I have to order as well. Now, I am going to pull them and check them and make sure they look good and they're not fouled and there's enough clearance and everything like that. It's nice, the more I work, the more I'm organized, the more things I do, I'm actually finding things that I don't actually need to buy, which is awesome. Any way I can save money, I'm trying to on this build. I do also definitely need to clean these exhaust ports because they're obviously very grody. I think I'm probably safe in taking a wire wheel to it. Maybe I'll just like stuff some paper towel down in there or something, because otherwise it's going to be kind of a pain to get in there and clean that by hand. So the first thing I have to do, maybe obviously, is get this alternator back off. I already put it on to make sure it went in the right spot, and it does. So we have to take this off, we have to take it to O'Reilly's and get it tested. I'm not exactly sure how they test it. I'm assuming maybe they just hook up something to this pulley and see if it spits out electricity, I guess. I don't know. So let's get this taken off and let's go to the parts store. Coming back in the morning when I'm just all right, the alternator is out and free, so let's go get her tested. Okay, so I'm back from the parts store, and rather unfortunately, the alternator failed its bench test. It had to meet a minimum threshold voltage output of 13.5 volts. It only clocked in at 12.7, which is honestly not far off for this being probably the original alternator, if not a very old replacement alternator. I'm pretty happy with that, especially since it passed all other fronts on it. So I don't know exactly what all of it means, but the voltage output is the one that we care about, and and it failed. I don't need to buy an entire alternator. I think that's a little bit ridiculous, especially since the rest of this, I mean, this thing spins freely. I've got the pulley, the casing and everything is all fine. So I'm actually going to be ordering an alternator rebuild kit. I've never rebuilt an alternator. I don't know how. I'm going to watch a couple YouTube videos, and you and I are going to learn how to do it together in the next video. So we're not going to be installing this. We're not going to be cleaning this up, and we're also not going to be installing the alternator drive belt. Obviously, there's no sense in installing something that has to be taken back out and rebuilt anyway. So that's going to be another job for another day. So let's move on to something else. What we have here are several different gaskets, most of which I will be installing, but not fully installing because I don't want to over torque everything if something needs to come back off. And then I potentially have to buy another gasket. Most of these I think would be reusable, but I don't want to chance that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to identify each one of these. Most of them I already know. Some of them I won't be using because I've already installed them. Like this one right here is for the thermostat housing. So I've already installed that one, got some RTV on it. I will show you guys overlaid on this. This is going to be the exhaust manifold gasket. All of these are going to be the intake manifold gasket. This is going to be the throttle body gasket. And the rest I kind of don't really know. So I think we'll just take a look at the engine and figure it out. I'm thinking this one might be for wherever the heater core hose goes, which I will actually be deleting with a block off kit from Condor. That should be arriving either today or tomorrow that we're also going to install in this video. I don't remember if I mentioned that in the beginning or not. So what I want to do is just kind of lay out these gaskets where they're going to go and kind of stick them in place and stick the piece that goes on it. Like I've got the exhaust manifold right here, so I want to stick the gaskets on, put these on top of it. That way everything is where it needs to go. Then I have less loose parts just, you know, kind of hanging out everywhere, which has been my biggest downfall. So it's sort of just an organization thing. It's a good thing to do, but I'm not going to tighten anything down right now. I don't think each of these is different, but what I'm going to do is just stack them on top of each other and see if I notice any key differences. And if there are, then I'll just take a look at these holes and see where they line up. They all look identical to me, so let's just toss them on. Oh, actually, I see. This one that I didn't know of. I should have realized that I only had 4 gaskets instead of 6. Goes right here in the middle. I'm trying to take this off without tearing it. There we go. Alright, so let's put this one over here then. And this one over here. And then this one. Aha! I'm assuming it goes like that. Nice. Alrighty, so let's put this beautiful, what appears to be brand new intake manifold on. And I'm going to look for a couple of nuts to just thread into here just to try and get it to hold itself in place a little bit better. I see I'm missing something down here. Don't know what, but it's something. Throttle body gasket. This thing also desperately needs to be cleaned up. That onto there. Alright, let's see if I can't find some hardware for this thing. Alright, I put a couple of bolts on just so this thing can kind of stay in place and not fall off while I move the engine and work on other things. Like I said, I'm not tightening everything. I still have other things I need to do. It's more so just getting everything in place and making sure that I actually have what I need. That's going to be it for the engine today, but there is one last thing I wanted to work on. If you guys have watched my videos for a while, you know that for some reason my door, my driver's door on the E30 for some reason won't stay open. And I've tried looking into it, just me poking around at it, and couldn't exactly find anything wrong until I found this on ECS. It looks like it's the whole door lever that goes from the A-pillar into the door itself. And I was reading the description and it said it's what holds the door open. So I'm gonna try taking out the old one, putting this one in, and seeing if that fixes the issue. I don't know if I just have something broken or loose, but it's something that's not readily visible, so I guess let's tear it apart and see if this fixes it. Here's what I mean. Door opens just fine. My foot just got soaked. But anyways, you guys see what I mean? It's not grabbing. Down in here is the part that I'm talking about, and I feel that it's loose. You guys can probably hear that. So something's disconnected, so I'm gonna tear it apart and we're gonna put the new one in and pray that it fixes it, because I'm sick of getting hit in the ass when I work on this thing. So I can't really film me working on this very easily, but I think I found the problem. If we look at the new one, we can see it's got this little like S-shaped bar almost, which looks like it acts sort of as like a spring to hold this lever into place. This is the one I just took out that doesn't have that. I don't see it anywhere in the door, so I don't know what happened to it, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that's the issue. So let me install the new one real quick and we'll see if it works. Well, I think you can tell just by this that it works. So that's obviously what the problem was. Honestly, a really easy install. Stays right there. Stays right there too. I'm actually gonna check the other door now. I know that it stays open, but I wanna see how easily it stays open, because that part was pretty cheap. So if this door doesn't seem great, I might just swap it too. No, honestly, nah, no need. This one's good. I don't know, it doesn't really look newer, but it works. So, sweet. That's going to be it for today. I will see you guys tomorrow when the Condor Speed Shop parts show up, and we'll go ahead and get those on the engine and go from there. Alrighty, it's a few days later. I got some more parts in. It is off and on raining right now. I don't know if you guys can tell. But thankfully we're in the shed for a little bit. So let me show you guys what I got. So I have a couple of things here from the guys over at Condor Speed Shop. Let me put these gaskets away real quick before I lose them. What I've got is sticker, not important. Water coolant block off plate. This is what we're going to be installing today. It goes on the back of the head on the engine. There's a little pipe that we have to take off, and then we just install this simple block off plate. And the reason we're doing this is on the E30, the back heater pipe is kind of a pain in the ass to get to. It's on the back of the engine and runs in, so it's a little bit difficult to get to. Since this is primarily going to be a drift cart and I'm going to be running with windows down anyway, even in bad weather, I don't care. I'm just gonna have the windows down, and that'll give me enough ventilation to where I won't have to run like window defrosters to try and keep my windshield clear. Also, I'm really trying to keep this car as low maintenance as possible, so anything that I can get rid of, even if it might be a bit of an inconvenience, if it makes my life easier overall, that's what I'm going to be doing. So if I decide that I need some sort of a window defroster, there are aftermarket kits that you can get. It's just like a little heater thing that you stick on top of the dash. I could always do that, run a fan, something like that, something that's a lot easier that doesn't require me digging into the back of the engine to replace. Will I ever have to replace that hose? Maybe not, but will I? Possibly. So I'm just going to avoid it completely. First thing I did was I forgot that I had these exhaust manifold gaskets, so I went ahead and tossed those on, as well as the manifold. It looks like they've got like a little bit of a heat shield or whatever that is on them. So that's all installed. Engine's looking good. I still don't have this bolt yet, but that's okay, because if you guys remember earlier, this alternator's not working. I'm actually going to rebuild this. I've got parts on the way. In the next video, we're going to take it all apart. We're going to learn how to work on an alternator together, because I've never done one. We're going to put a new voltage regulator in it, clean up the brushes, and probably throw in a couple new bits as well. And then we're gonna take it back to O'Reilly's and test it, and we should be good to go. But that's gonna be in the next video. I closed the shed since the sun comes in this way. I know it's a little weird lighting right now with the flash, but I think it's gonna be the best I can do for right now. Otherwise, we're just gonna have the lighting come in here, and then all this is gonna be shadowed, so it is what it is. So basically all we have to do is take off this little pipe right here. Should just be these two bolts. Take that off, and then we've got what looks to be a little plug, I'm assuming, that goes into here. And then we throw this gasket and this plate and these nuts and bolts in, and we're good. Oh, it's leaking out already. Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, this is not going well. It's okay though, the only way to get it to go right is to get it to go bad first, am I right? Probably not. It's gonna be ugly, but it's gonna work. So I'm gonna go ahead and do one of these numbers. Get that started and lined up. Then I need to grab another washer because when I opened the bag, I lost the other one. This one will work. Okay, and I'm going to torque this down to tight. I don't really know how tight I should actually go. I don't want to strip off anything. All right, that's pretty clean. So that's gonna wrap it up for this video. We made some pretty decent progress. I wish we had made more, but unfortunately with the alternator being bad, that kind of knocked out a few of the things that I wanted to do. But we're gonna knock them out in the next video because like I said earlier, we're gonna be rebuilding that alternator, getting it ready to go. We're gonna mount it up with the band and everything on the engine, but we made some good progress. We got a few new things added. We fixed the door latch on the car. I've also got some things that I ordered from Condor that I'm not gonna tell you about, so you have to stay tuned in the next video to watch it, but it's gonna be up front with the angle kit. So it's gonna fix one thing that some of you that are E30 guys may have noticed. Shout out to my boy Christian for pointing it out to me. I would have never known about this if it wasn't for him. So we're gonna get that corrected. Hopefully that goes easy. I'm actually gonna be starting the new video tomorrow if the weather cooperates with me. So that I can get back on this weekly upload schedule. This one took a couple weeks. I've been working super overtime at my real job, which unfortunately sucks, but it is what it is. It gives me money for BMW parts. So thank you all for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, do all that good stuff, and I will see you in the next one.